2025-2026 amounting to Uganda shillings 1 trillion 105 billion 163 million. I beg to move. I beg to lay, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. That is under Rule 160, Sub-Rule 1 of the Rules of Procedure. Seconded by Isaac, by Peter, by Buheshu, by Honorable Bahati, by Honorable Obua, Chweru, by the hollow side. Abe, Elinos, Ibanda, Kisa, Gabriel, Eric, Mariam, Mero, Elijah, Max, Akol, Aru, Okot, Sentai, Angura, Fox, Tom, Kinovere, by the majority. Honorable members, please enter in. Honorable members.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, the supplementary schedule number 5 was administratively presented to the office of the Speaker on 29th of April 2006, and I have just also laid it on the table formally.
Correction, on 30th.
Oh no.
It was on 30th.
Madam Speaker, I wish to correct the date as 30th April 2026. And Madam Speaker, I wish to present the details of this schedule as follows. Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes, there's a procedure matter.
Madam Speaker, the Minister, as per the order paper and rules, he has laid the schedule. But he's also going ahead to do something the rules don't provide. That he's explaining. I don't know under which rule. The Honorable Musasi has been here wrong. The Speaker suggested to you, but being NRM, you didn't even hear, that if you want to proceed to the next stage, you move Parliament. You don't just raise up as if you are herding cows. You have laid. Now you are justifying. What are you justifying under which rule?
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Supplementary has been laid. Yes, Honorable Fox.
Motion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, pursuant to Rule 17 of the Rules of Procedure of the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda, I beg to move that the House be pleased to suspend Rules 163, 4 and 5 of the Rules of Procedure to enable this Honorable House to consider supplementary expenditure number 5 for the financial year 2025-2026 without prior referral to the Budget Committee. I beg to move.
Seconded. Seconded by the Prime Minister of Republic of Uganda, the Government Chief Whip, Honorable Bahati, Honorable Musasisi, Honorable Insibambi Yusuf, Honorable Ichwero, by the hollow side. Thank you. Can you justify why you're moving that?
Right Honorable Speaker, supplementary expenditure number 5 for the financial year 2025-2026 makes provisions for critical areas of expenditure. Expenditure area number 1 is elections for local council 1. Our democratization processes require that we carry out elections all the way to the lowest units of our administration. It's imperative that we provide resources to enable the people of Uganda exercise their democratic rights to elect their local council 1. Number 2, it provides for AFCON. This is one of our flagship projects. We bidded for AFCON. We bidded to host AFCON with other East African states. We need to make provisions for that item. It also provides for the swearing-in ceremony of the President of the Republic of Uganda. This is a culmination of the hard-earned efforts of the people of Uganda who elected their president. We have to provide for the swearing-in ceremony. Lastly, it provides for salary arrears. The people who work for the Republic of Uganda have to be paid. And as a parliament, we have to make provisions for the payment of salary arrears. I request, honorable colleagues, that you support the supplementary expenditure number 5 of 2025-2026.
Yes. You can debate. It has no problem.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. The reasons given by both the Minister and the Honorable Fox Odoi, on the face of it, sound reasonable. But let me question the commitment of our servants in government and those that make budgets. When we're enacting the Public Finance Management Act, we put conditions for supplementaries. There are certain things which are foreseeable. Number 1, who in government did not know that we shall have a swearing-in ceremony for the president-elect, and that the functions surrounding that are funded from taxpayers' money, from the budget? Who did not know that the election of LCs are long overdue? For us to be here stampeded into making provision for monies over items we knew. Who did not know that there are servants serving the Republic of Uganda who are supposed to be paid from our coffers? How does someone, the minister, come here today to tell us that you want a supplementary to pay salaries less than a month to the next budget?
Thank you.
I oppose.
Minister.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, before I present the details of the supplementary, I want to appreciate Honorable Segona for his concerns. For an item in the law, Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act is very clear. For an item to qualify for supplementary, it must have been unforeseen at the time of budgeting or unavoidable. Madam Speaker, without wasting much time, I want to be specific. Looking at an item of swearing in, it is true we foresaw that there was going to be swearing in of the President on 12th of May, and we provided the funding to that effect. But what has arisen, what we provided and what is required is different. So what we are asking for is over and above what we provided at the time of budgeting, which is allowable. Madam
It is
Speaker,
basically 3 billion shillings.
it is only 3 billion shillings. Madam Speaker, how I wish the House...
Members,
would-
can we have order?
Madam Speaker, I now come to the details of this supplementary schedule.
Now let me hear from the shadow minister of finance. But
Madam-
in the meantime, we in the VIP gallery we have a members elect 12th Parliament. We have Honorable Sumaya Nabawanuka from Obende. You're most welcome. Stop that no-go. Can you clap for my members? We have Honorable Karunji Annette Umane MP Kabarole. We have Honorable Tracy J. Anthony Isingiro West. We have Honorable Katoto Sylvia Umane MP Chibuku. We have Honorable Goire Moses Budaka County. We have Honorable Arinaitwe Sylvia Umane MP Ruchiga. We have Honorable Ntabasi Harriet from Bwamba County. You're almost welcome. In the VIP gallery also, we have the former Member of Parliament and the Secretary General of Uganda People's Congress, Honorable Bill Fred. They are all here to witness the proceedings. Yes, Honorable Semujo.
I think, Madam Speaker, people who are seated next to my brother, the Honorable Musasizi, you will need to apply a speed meter. Right now, we are still debating the motion to suspend the rules. For the third time, he's going to elaborate on what is in the schedule. And I want Madam Speaker to concentrate on the motion moved by the Honorable Fox Odoi. Appropriation is one of the key functions of Parliament. If you look at Section 12 of the Public Finance Management Act, we are required, before we authorize government to spend money, to look at their procurement plans, to look at work plan, and the cash flow. That is a matter of law that the Honorable Fox Odoi, you cannot suspend. Because that suspension means that you are also suspending the requirement under Section 12 of the Public Finance Management Act. And the reason is that you are going to spend people's money. Their representative must look at the work plan, procurement plan, and cash flow. I don't want to accuse you of also Honorable Fox will be leading.
Honorable Semuju, Section 12 is on the annual budget. We are talking about a supplementary.
I agree, Madam Speaker, supplementary is part of the budget because we are supplementing the budget, not something else. So the point I make, Madam Speaker, there is absolutely no way this parliament seated here will look at procurement plans, will look at work plan and cash flow, and then authorize government to go and spend money. The minister, and I want to thank him, he said you already have money for the swearing-in ceremony, you want more. That's the very reason why the Public Finance Management Act was made, for us to look at the money that we gave you, if it's not enough, and we do that by looking at the procurement, we look at the work plan, and then authorize you. But for you to come here and blindfold all the MPs and say there is a swearing-in ceremony, because being in hurry does not absolve you of the responsibility of following the law. Because you are in hurry, so you are absolved. You are not. So I want to hear the Honorable Fox Odoi, a lawyer, telling us whether you can also suspend the requirements of the Public Finance Management Act. If there is a provision in any law allowing you to suspend the law, then you can deal with the rules. So, right, Honorable, I'll ask you later to speak as the Shadow Finance Minister. I am now debating like any ordinary MP, and I am opposed to this motion of Fox Odoi that is taking our responsibility of Parliament from scrutinizing requests from government.
Honorable Fox Odoi is only seeking for the House to allow him suspend. And you know how this can be approved. We shall put a question. But meanwhile, the Prime Minister, Vice President, and Prime Minister, you're all welcome for this session, as we also prepare for our last supper. Honorable members, honorable members, honorable members, I am putting a question that Rule 160, Sub-Rule 3, 4, and 5 be suspended to enable direct consideration of the supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for financial year 2025-2026 by the House without referral to the Budget Committee and relevant sectoral committees. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it. Honorable members, I now put a question that the supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for financial year 2025-2026 be approved by this House. Honorable members, we are approving the schedule, then we go to supply. Honorable members, just a minute. He moved the motion. Honorable Kema, Mr. Kema moved the motion. Mr. Kema moved the motion. I mean, he read, and then when he's going to justify it. So, Honorable Minister, after the suspension, you justify. Can we first get a justification? No. Can we have a justification? Okay, I read the item on moving the motion.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, Section 24 of the Public Finance Management Act states that the total supplementary expenditure that requires additional resources over and above what is approved by Parliament shall not exceed 3% of the total approved budget for that financial year without approval of Parliament. Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, you will recall that Parliament approved supplementary expenditure schedules number 1, 2, 3, and 4 for financial year 2025-2026 as follows. Schedule 1, under 3%, 1,652.29 billion. Schedule 2, still under 3. Schedule 2 for roads above 3%, 1,696 billion. 3, supplementary schedule 3 above 3%, 4,776.11 billion. 4, supplementary schedule 4, transfer to NFA budget following rationalization, 22 billion. Totaling to 8,126.4 billion. Madam Speaker, subsequently, Cabinet approved supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 as follows. Within 3%, 519.002 billion. Above 3%, 586.161 billion. Totaling to 1,105,163 million. Right Honorable Speaker, this supplementary will be financed as follows. 1, budgetary allocation 40.21 billion. Additional tax revenue stroke local revenue 6.25 billion. Additional external financing 72.90 billion. Reallocation efficiency in budget execution and cash management 985.80 billion. Madam Speaker, I now go into vote by vote. Madam Speaker, we will spend this supplementary under the following votes.
Honorable members, as you're near the switches, please don't switch off our light.
Number 1, vote 002, State House. Uganda shillings 300 billion to cater for classified expenditures. 2, vote 010, Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Uganda shillings 3.8 billion to operationalize Kapeka Farm Service Center. 3, vote 144, Uganda Police Force, Uganda shillings 110.41 billion to finance additional security interventions and emerging contractual obligations owing to the 2026 general elections. This ensured peaceful general elections, as you should have all witnessed. Vote 017, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Uganda shillings 24.850 billion for partial payment for government acquisition of the Electromax 50 megawatt power plant in Tororo. This will enable government to commence the implementation of its energy policy mix that necessitates a 10% generation capacity from thermal power. Vote 126, National Information Technologies Authority, Uganda shillings 21.966 billion. This is additional financing for internet services under the National Information Technology Authority. This situation arose out of increase in internet usage during the financial year by MDAs and local governments following implementation of last mile connectivity. Vote 142, National Agricultural Research Organization, NARO, Uganda shilling 7.90 billion for capitalization of Uganda Development Corporation as an additional investment in Achak Sugar Factory. The second category is self-financing and budget-neutral supplementary requests over and above 3% legal limit, which require prior approval by Cabinet and Parliament. Of a total of 586.16 billion for supplemental expenditure Schedule 5 that is above 3% legal limit, a total of 123.03 billion is self-financing and thus budget neutral. The self-financing stroke budget neutral supplementary includes the following: reallocation of Uganda shillings 40.21 billion to cater for additional wage for recruitment of health workers under 19 referral hospitals. Honorable colleagues, there is a need to allocate wage of Uganda shillings 40.21 billion, currently budgeted for under Ministry of Health, to 19 referral hospitals. This is required to cater for recruitment and absorption of critical health workers that were previously being supported. Workers that were previously supporting these hospitals before suspension of USAID funding for essential health services. The beneficial referral hospitals are the following: Butabika Hospital, Arua Hospital, Fort Portal Hospital, Guru Hospital, Hoima Hospital, Jinja Hospital, Kawale Hospital, Masaka Hospital, Mbale Hospital, Soroti Hospital, Lira Hospital, Mbara Regional Referral Hospital, Mubende Regional Referral Hospital, Moroto Regional Referral Hospital, Naguru National Referral Hospital, Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital, Murago Specialized Women and Neonatal Hospital, Kayunga Referral Hospital, and Yumbe Referral Hospital. Number 2, Uganda shillings 9.92 billion for various local governments, which are also detailed in the annex. 1, Uganda shillings 1.44 billion as unspent balances under the Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer Program UGIFT that were returned to the Uganda Consolidated Fund at the end of financial year 2024-2025. This funding is required to enable the local governments meet their outstanding contractual obligations under the program for this year. 2, Uganda shillings 2.22 billion for the Uganda support to municipal infrastructure development USMAID project as unspent balances that were returned to the Uganda Consolidated Fund at the end of financial year 2024-2025. This funding is required to enable the local governments meet their contractual obligations and avoid...
Right Honourable Speaker, when you began, in your communication at the beginning of the session, you did say, and I applauded you, that even as we exit we must leave this parliament and the nation clean. Having lost in our attempt to block this supplementary, and pure as a Ugandan, I concede that we lost on that. What I do not concede to is that we have also lost the duty to scrutinize the documents. With the background I have given and the need to do the job you have called upon us to do, may I move that you find pleasure in suspending the proceedings for at least 15 minutes for us to be able to access the documents and follow the proceedings properly so that we support what we know.
Members,
I beg
don't you
to
have
move.
the report?
We don't.
You have the
It's not
report? The document is online, it was uploaded.
No.
You know, I gave all of you iPads, and I know my dad here gave it to my little brother. So, I actually gave my stepmother. So check what is on the iPad. Can you continue?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Uganda shillings 6.25 billion.
Honorable members, let's listen to this. These monies are going to hospitals. We are the ones who have been complaining hospitals don't have workers. And we are here. You what? By the way, let me tell you, if you think you're going to waste my time for us not to finish, we shall finish. We are here to finish. I know my sister is not used to finishing, but today she will finish. Yes. Go ahead.
This is too much. Madam Speaker.
Order.
Madam Speaker, under this category, we have 6.25 billion to cater for the additional local revenue collected by local government votes over and above their respective appropriated budget.
By the way, I was joking on my sister. Yes.
And Madam Speaker, the local governments are the following: Arua City, Jinja City.
Can you hear on your local governments?
Madam Speaker, the local governments with additional local revenue are the following: Arua City, Jinja City, Lira City, Mbale City, Apache Municipal Council, Agago District, Budaka District, Bujiri District, Buwezu District, Burambuli District, Bushenyi District, Dokoro District, Jinja District, Kaliro District, Kasese District, Chikube District, Koboko District, Chejegwa District, Chenjojo District, Chotera District, Mbarara District, Mitoma District, Moroto District, Nakapiripiriti District, Nakasongora District, Namisindwa District, Obonge District, Palisa District, Rwanda District, Rubirizi District, Ruchiga District, Sirongo District, Tororo District, among others. I can finish all. Madam Speaker, we have also provided for Uganda shillings 72.9 billion as additional disbursement by the World Bank for generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises GROW project. The World Bank approved and disbursed additional funds for generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises project. These funds have to be utilized, or else the grant will be cancelled at the end of this financial year. Madam Speaker, I now come to the supplemental expenditures which are above 3% legal limit that require additional financing. And the total is 463.15 billion, and the particulars are as follows. Uganda shillings, Madam Speaker, Uganda shillings 56.95 billion for LC1, LC2, and Women Council Committee elections countrywide as directed by Cabinet. These funds are required to support the Electoral Commission to fully implement the electoral roadmap as already approved by Cabinet. Number 2, Uganda shillings 29.57 billion for AFCON 2027 preparatory activities. Honorable members, Cabinet directed that we fully fund AFCON 2027, beginning with immediate requirement in this financial year 2025-2026. These funds are required to implement the urgent preparatory works, reduce implementation risk, and keep the overall AFCON 2027 preparation program on schedule. The activities include the following. 1, Uganda shillings 14.1 billion for preliminary works at Kabalega International Airport. This one will go to Ministry of Works. 2, Uganda shillings 8.03 billion for priority road works and associated support activities in Chira Municipal Council. 3, Uganda shillings 3.06 billion for pitch improvement at Kadiba Football Stadium. 4, Uganda shillings 0.31 billion for branding of host cities and content production for the Destination Uganda documentary. 5, Uganda shillings 1.17 billion for Hoima City and Masindi Municipality to finance sanitation and road safety interventions. 6, Uganda shillings 1.02 billion for meteorological and aviation safety support system. 7, Uganda shillings 1.8 billion for water utility preparatory works for the Hoima cluster. Madam Speaker, we also require Uganda shillings 132.9 billion for outstanding obligations under Uganda Police Force. These obligations resulted from outstanding allowances and feeding expenses for special police constables hired during the general elections and contractual obligations for procurement of the 324 troop carriers. 2, Uganda shillings 23.21 billion as counterpart funding for wage to operationalize the newly constructed seed schools under the World Bank Uganda Intergovernmental Fiscal Transfer UGIFT program. And the details are provided in the annex. 5, Uganda shillings 107.52 billion for wage, pension, and gratuity shortfalls resulting from in-year salary enhancement undertaken by the Ministry of Public Service. 6, Uganda shillings 110 billion to cater for classified expenditures under Vote 002 State House. And 7, Uganda shillings 3 billion to cater for budget shortfalls for the swearing in and inaugural ceremony of the President-elect 2026, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, under vote 001, Office of the President. Madam Speaker, I had already earlier mentioned how this supplementary will be financed. I now conclude as follows. Honorable colleagues, given the critical nature of these expenditures requirements, I pray that you consider and pass this supplementary to enable government to meet these requirements as we come to close of the financial year, and all of them cannot wait for the new financial year. I beg to move for the House's consideration.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank you,
Honorable
Honorable Musasize. Also in the VIP gallery, we have Honorable Kitty Peter from Toa County, Buko. We have Honorable Atuhairaire Arthur Kazora from Ruhinda. You're most welcome. Thank you for coming. Yes, you've heard the supplementary that a shadow.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, from what the Minister has read, in my opinion, nothing qualifies to be an emergency. But I want to begin by thanking NRM WHIP for the good mobilization. There are colleagues I have not seen for more than a year. I want to thank them.
Honorable members, all these members of parliament have been coming here. Unless you're telling me you've been half blind. Leave my members of parliament, they have been coming to the house.
Madam Speaker, I agree. When we are processing the budget, all these seats were empty. But I want to thank them. I am only fearing, because last time when SFC invaded us, they were standing like many of those NRM MPs in the corners.
Honorable.
So can I now
No,
move to the
Honorable.
motion? Yes.
Honorable, I have told you the members of parliament are elected to be in this house. So when you say that you've not been seeing these members of parliament, that is an insult to yourselves.
And I am sorry, Madam Speaker, I didn't mean to offend anyone. But if there are colleagues who have come for voting, Madam, you can ask them to excuse themselves. We need some air. These ones who are standing everywhere, they will be notified that voting has started.
Can you bring? There is an order. There is an order.
Right Honorable Speaker, is my senior friend and brother, Semuju, in order to begin calling us SFC like you do not know us. You have been seeing us in this house. And then you are there saying you want fresh air. So you are going to get out, I sit where you are seated. Because I'm respecting you to sit while you talk, and I'm here. So the order is Semuju in order to begin calling us SFCs when he knows that we are members of parliament, really. And then you want fresh air. You go out, we sit where you sit.
But Honorable Semuju, for me I have enough fresh air. If you're squeezed there, just bring your seat next to me. Come and sit next to me. Because to the best of my knowledge, this place is very high. The hair here is good enough for everybody. And nobody who is standing here is an SFC. Why do you
Madam
talk
Speaker,
about SFC?
I was just sympathetic. If they don't care, they can continue standing, and I withdraw. I was just sympathetic to them. But the motion, Madam Speaker. We have just considered the budget. In the budget, Madam Speaker, this government did not provide 4 billion for the National Curriculum Development Center to complete the new syllabus, especially for our children in senior 6 who are going to sit for exams. They never had 4 billion in the budget we have just finished. They also denied UNEB 80 billion to train teachers who are going to mark senior 6, the first group that is going to sit under a new curriculum. And in their mind, they have money to organize the ceremony. Because the president can be sworn in. When he captured the power, he was sworn in here at the staircases of parliament. And the sun rose and set. But you have children, 100,000. They are going to sit for exams. You did not find 2 billion for National Curriculum Development Center to complete their 34 subjects. You never gave UNEB 80 billion for them to train teachers to go and mark these children. And you have brought here money that we are going to have a ceremony, just eating. I don't know what's wrong with NRM people. So that you can deny our children an opportunity to study. And then you bring money here for eating. You should be ashamed of yourself. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Semuju now wants to go beyond his appropriation role to now budget execution. Madam Speaker, in the budget we passed, all those votes he's mentioning were appropriated money for. Yes. And what his...
Honourable members, why are you shouting like we're in National
They were
Theatre?
appropriated for, but Madam Speaker, the common practice, which all colleagues know, that every vote comes to this House with unfunded priorities. So he's just taking us to the list of unfunded priorities, which is a wish list. There is what you want and what we can provide. And we were satisfied that what we provided is sufficient to make the votes run through the year. If there is anything along the way that we didn't provide for, if something occurs during implementation of the budget, we shall now come back here and ask for the money.
Honourable members, it is this same government that brought the new curriculum. And it is to the best interest of government to ensure that the new curriculum is implemented. Can I hear from the Prime Minister? Let me hear from Lob first before.
Madam Speaker, you see, there is a reason why our laws are to a great extent very clear. The Public Finance Management Act provides for supplementaries. They are within the law. But there is a coding, there is a justification for supplementary budget. Unforeseeables. I am struggling, really struggling, to understand how unforeseeable some of these things are, in all honesty. That we have got to do it in a haste. You said this is our last supper, our last sitting, you said. So I
did not say that.
You used the words last supper, Madam Speaker. I don't know what you meant. But you used it twice. Anyhow, Madam Speaker, we are closing down as Parliament, and we seem to be in a haste to appropriate money for what we are saying is unforeseeable. I am struggling to understand how unforeseeable some of these things are. We've talked about the inaugural ceremony. There is money for ATIAC, Right Honourable Speaker, 37.9 billion. We have been here and we have screamed our voices hoarse. About projects like Atiak, there is another one, Day by a Farmer.
Honorable Musasizi, I want you to listen on Atiak.
Madam Prime Minister, don't interrupt Honorable Musasizi. He needs to listen to these critical issues. We have talked about Day by a Farmer, which was given free money, 778 billion. Money was given to Inspire Africa Coffee Factory in Tungamo, 180 billion plus. Rocco, 260 billion shillings plus. Of course, there's Lubowa Specialized Hospital, which has become a white elephant. We then talked about Atiak Sugar Factory. So far, 668 billion shillings over the years to Atiak Sugar Factory. It's a factory I went to visit with colleagues, and there is no sugar coming out of there for the last couple of years. But every year we keep appropriating money. Now we're even bringing money through a supplementary for Atiak Sugar Factory. Help me understand. Who is this Atiak person that we have got to keep giving them money, billions of shillings on an annual basis, that now it even has to come through a supplementary, that it is an emergency? Right, Honourable Speaker, to the taxpayers who are watching us, we could be seen as conduits of fraud. Fraud is when you are paid for a service and you don't deliver it. You have given 668 billion shillings so far to Atiak. No sugar is coming out of there, and this is free money. You want to add them money. For what? I don't understand.
Thank you.
Right, Honourable Speaker, the classified that's indicated here, within the 3% legal limit, 300 billion. Outside the 3%, 110 billion. That's a total of 410 billion shillings. Look, every country will have a classified budget. But you see, your classified budget has got to be tethered to your revenue. You cannot be a heavily indebted poor country and you keep having trillions of classified budget. Now you have a supplementary for classified 410 billion shillings. A few days to the closure of government. What are you going to do in these few days for this classified of 410 billion shillings? Honourable Speaker, yes, our rules can be suspended and all of that. But these things should make sense to the taxpayer. They should make sense. Now, the taxpayer might try and understand you on the hospitals and so on, and hopefully that money will go to the hospitals. Because many times we pass money for some of these things and it is fired. When you read the accountability reports, you see money was transferred from this and taken to something else. So hopefully for the hospital money it gets to do that. But help the taxpayer to understand this 410 classified budget billion. For a few days, government is closing down. Billions to Atiak Sugar Factory that you've been giving money. Nothing is happening there. I want to understand, Honourable Speaker. I genuinely want to understand from Prime Minister and her team. Help me and the taxpayer whom you're going to squeeze a lot more. You recently passed here. More money, higher taxes on fuel and so on. So the taxpayer is paying for these things. Help the taxpayer to understand.
Thank you.
We are waiting.
Thank you. Honourable Musasizi.
Madam Speaker, I wish to clarify on the issue of 3% and above 3%. Madam Speaker, this schedule, I have justified it in 3 categories. We have expenditures which are within the 3% legal limit, amounting to 519 billion. And here, Madam Speaker, we have already spent, we have come here to seek for retrospective approval of the schedule. And this is where Atiak Sugar falls, in the 3% which we have already spent. Then we have a schedule that is budget neutral. Then we have this one which requires additional financing, where we need authority of parliament to spend, amounting to 586.16 billion. Madam Speaker, in as far as the details of what we are doing under Atiak Sugar is concerned, in the interest of synergy, I want to, with your indulgence, the Ministry of Trade can respond to the specific activities which...
Yes, Minister.
Be. Madam Speaker, we have funded Attack Sugar Factory to do a number of activities. One is irrigation, and Attack Sugar Factory is finishing up the irrigation system to help guard the changing weather so that there is proper production of the sugar cane. As we speak, Madam Speaker, I know members are very much concerned with when will the sugar from Attack Sugar Factory be put on the market. I have good news for you. I have good news for you. Attack Sugar Factory will start producing sugar in the month of September this year. The irrigation has ended. 2026 will have sugar. So we should be able to support this sugar factory so that we have the factory running in September 2026.
Let's hear from the chairman of Acholi Parliamentary Group.
Right, Honorable Speaker, as a matter of truth, the people of Uganda, including myself, has been complaining a lot about Attack Sugar Works. What Ugandans want to see is the sugar. But unfortunately, the production started in Attack Sugar Works. But the sugar cane that was planted got finished within a very short period. And therefore, from that point, Honorable Speaker, can I get protection, please?
Members, can you listen to Honorable Akol? Honorable Akol.
Right, Honorable Speaker, from that point, production stopped. And what was resumed in the place was that at the time when we got the equipment for working on the garden, there is a lot of plantation that has been taking place, including irrigation. It is fortunate that some people among us here have reached the place. I personally visited Atiak. What I want us, including myself, who is also complaining, we need to be patient now and wait for the production to start. I am happy that as the Ministry of Trade, they have taken more steps to make sure that the money which is given in Attack Sugar, some of the money will be paid back to the government, including taking some of the property of Attack Sugar Works. And I must thank the Minister for doing that. Very soon, I think some of the property will become the property of offices of the members of parliament, even here. So for that matter, what I can assure you, Right Honorable Speaker, is that there is a lot of progress and production is going to start. That is all I can say. Thank you.
There is a procedure from Jonah.
Madam Speaker, thank you. I'm raising a point of procedure. The motion by Honorable Fox Odoi was carried in this House to the extent that instead of the minister being referred to the relevant committee, now the committee of the whole House is proceeding, not debating, is proceeding to interrogate the minister. And my question, where I require you to guide, at what point do you anticipate members of parliament to ask of the minister documents? At what point, for example, does the minister report to us that a resolution of this House, where you, Madam Speaker, you were presiding, had identified loopholes in corporate governance in Atiak? Government
which is a majority shareholder there, has put way more money than what the company should have done. At what point are we going to satisfy ourselves that the figures attached and are being requested of us to approve has been answered by the minister? Even on the LC1 elections and LC2, it is not enough to come and say I need 66 billion for LC1, LC2. We need to see the list of all the villages attached, so that every member here can be sure that in my village I will not go back and they are going to ask me questions why village A is missing from the national list, and even 2. On the issue of the police, there is a figure here, Madam Speaker, of 56 billion. And the request is for reimbursement of police, special police constables. I can tell you, in Lira, and I think in many parts of the country, the special police constables have not been paid for the services they gave. And here the figure is saying reimbursement. Reimbursement presupposes that you had picked money from somewhere and paid them. But they were not paid for the work they offered. So at what point do we satisfy ourselves that actually this ministry had paid? So in terms of procedure, I'm asking you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Dur. One, we are at the budgeting processing stage for us to approve this money to go to be approved as a supplementary. On the issues of accountability, we have accountability committees that verify what this man has gone to do. For instance, this goes to Kosase, that has been managed by Honorable Segona. So it is Honorable Segona to tell us in his report that is going to bring whether the money is being used in a proper way or not. Yes, Lob.
Honourable Speaker, I seek your procedural indulgence. We were here a couple of months ago, and I was giving a report to this House about Atiak Sugar Factory, which we give billions, no sugar coming out of there, Day Biofarma, Inspire Africa Coffee, Rocco, and so on. The response by government was that we have acquired stake in a number of these entities. I then asked, where are the share certificates? Where are the valuation reports? Government conceded that for some of these, valuation had not happened. Honourable Speaker, I remember when money was being passed for Day Biofarma, 723 billion at the time. We asked government, they said they had not carried out valuation. So we said, what stake are you buying if you don't know the value? You guided, Right Honourable Speaker, and you remember I disagreed with you. You said, let's pass the money. Then, government will hold that money before dispatching it to the entity, to the private company, until they do valuation. And you said they will bring the valuation report here before the money is dispatched. They have never brought that report. And I told you, once we have appropriated that money, we become functus official. The Attorney General of Uganda, the Honorable Chiriowa Chiwanuka Nsumikambi Mugambe, promised on this floor, on the Hansard, that he will come to this House and table share certificates and table valuation reports for these companies. That has never happened. But government keeps coming back for more money. What are we funding? Because when you say we have got stake, we are shareholders as government in each of these companies, where is the evidence? But also, before you acquire stake, you first do valuation. Good business people know that before you inject your money in a business to say, I'm buying, let's say 30%, what is that 30% worth? That's when you do valuation, and then you know, I am buying this much stake. These people lied to us because they have never produced those certificates. They've never produced the valuation report. So they told us a lie. Why then do you keep coming back for more money? You don't want to be transparent. Because what we want to know, you are asking us to appropriate money to what? We want that accountability. By the way, it's not even enough, Right Honourable Speaker, that sugar begins to come out of Atiak in September. As sure as day follows night, it's not going to happen. Because every year they keep promising us. But let's even say it comes out. The taxpayer is asking, what is my stake? Forget that sugar will come out of that private entity. What is the stake? Why don't you want to respond to these questions? But you want to keep coming, asking us for more money and all of that. No, we should not proceed this way, Right Honourable Speaker, in my view.
AJ.
Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the leader of opposition for his very loud submission. I'm a first time here. Loud, I heard him clearly. That's what loud means. I am a first time member of parliament like him, and I've since learned how things are brought to parliament. Normally, entities of government, where government has invested, there is an audit act. So we send the Auditor General who reports to parliament on what has been found. I was advised that we don't just drop documents on the floor of yes, and I'm telling you, I was advised. So, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable colleagues, I would want to imagine that all the money that was audited, the Auditor General can give a report on that.
He has finished. You're putting order on him.
Madam Speaker.
He has finished.
Madam Speaker, under the Constitution.
He finished.
No, he gave. He's my good friend. He's my good friend.
He finished.
And that.
Honourable members.
This is the Chief Advisor to government.
Honourable members. Honourable members. I now put a question that the supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for financial year 2025-2026 be approved by this House. Those in favour say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
The Committee of Supply.
Honourable members, kindly sit. My son, Francis.
Total recurrent expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for the financial year 2025-2026.
Honourable members, I propose a question that a total sum of Uganda shillings 894 billion 548 million 183,558 shillings be approved as a total recurrent expenditure under the supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it. Honourable members, I now put a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 894 billion 548 million 183,558 shillings be approved as a total recurrent expenditure under the supplementary expenditure number 5 for financial year 2025-2026. Those in favor say and the contrary nay. The ayes have it.
Total development expenditure under supplementary expenditure schedule number 5 for the financial year 2025-2026.
Can I have order? Can I have order? Honourable members, I propose a question that the total sum of Uganda shillings 210 billion 614 million 540,809 shillings be approved